Today we're going to be reviewing the 2020 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. The car started production in 2020 at the Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, and it's based on the MQB platform, which is the same platform as the Volkswagen Golf, but it's wider and longer, which is a good thing because all the engines, transmissions, suspension, they've been around for a very long time and they're already tried and tested, and there's no big problems with them, and I'll show you that in the review. Basically, the car is a mid-size SUV with only 2 rows of seats, because what they did is they took the Atlas, which is a 3-row SUV, cut the 3rd row, they made this car. Plus they've added a sloped roof in the back, so it looks more sporty and more attractive, but at the same time the car still looks very, very manly. This specific model has the 3.6 liter V6. Well, it's not a V6, it's a VR6 because it only has one head and all the cylinders are under an angle of 15 degrees in it. This engine produces 276 horsepower, which is, I'd say, plenty for this size of an SUV. But the good thing about this engine is that it has been built since 1991 in different variations, obviously. It's very durable, it's tested, it's tried, everything works perfectly fine. It's an awesome engine. Also, the car came with a 2-liter turbo engine. That's the lower version. The 2-liter turbo is the legendary EA888 Gen 3, which is very good for tuning. People got like 5, even 600 horsepower out of a small 2-liter turbo. But we'll talk about that at a different review. The 3.5-liter engine is the same engine that you can find in the Porsche Cayenne. The transmission is an 8-speed Aisin made by Toyota, which says everything about it. The only problem with it that it's a little small and people don't quite trust it because it's a smaller transmission and it might not have enough power. But to be honest, this transmission has been around for a very long time, and I think it's since 2013, and there hasn't been any major issues with it, so I recommend it as well. This specific model is a 4Motion, which means it has all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive system is not your typical all-the-time all-wheel drive. It's on-demand all-wheel drive. What that means is there's a clutch pack made by Borg-Warner in the back that when the front wheels slip, the rear wheels kick in and help with the traction. The Borg-Warner clutch pack is at its 5th iteration, so it's very durable. It's one of the best combinations you can get in a Volkswagen with this engine and this transmission and this clutch pack. You can't go wrong with that. Talking about the interior of the car. The interior is very simplistic in design. It has some basic material choices. It's not as fancy as, let's say, a Mazda CX-9, but at the same time, the build quality is very high. Nothing rattles, nothing wobbles. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Everything is very ergonomic. The seats are comfortable. The steering wheel is at the right angle and in the right position in front of you. I really like this interior, and I think it's not the best in class because Mazda has it a little better, but it's one of the top in class. The car also comes equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard. It has plenty of room in the back, and in the trunk you have enough space to fit a small Planet in, and then you'll still have enough room for 2 of your dogs. The first thing that you feel when you start driving this car is that the steering wheel is very, very light, but at the same time it's precise and you feel what's happening to the front wheels, which is incredible tuning. The second thing you realize with this car is that its suspension is more on the stiff side. That's made so at highway speeds and cornering, the car feels more planted, feels better, feels more natural. Talking about the engine, it feels like it has a lot of torque, but it won't blow your socks off. Let's say compared to an X5M or to an RSQ8, a car that's similar to this size, this is much slower, but in everyday driving, trust me, this is way more than enough. The brakes feel pretty well for a car of this size. They stop well, but they're a little touchy. They grab really hard as soon as you just touch them a little. How does the car compare to other cars, compared to its competitors? Well, the main car that I would consider a competitor for this Volkswagen is the Mazda CX-9. The benefits of the CX-9 are a better interior, higher quality materials, and softer seats. But that car is not as reliable as this. And yes, you've heard me right. A Mazda is less reliable than a Volkswagen. And I would still get the Volkswagen. It's much more fun. The question is, should you buy it? Well, I think you should consider it 100%. It's a great car, it's very reliable, it's very dependable, has tons of room in it, it has decent power. What else can you expect from a car? Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.